Hey folks, and welcome back to Return to the Wild, and today we're in a completely different part of the planet. We are in New Zealand. Welcome to Milford Sound, down here in beautiful South Island, New Zealand. That mountain you see over there? Yeah, you should recognise that. That mountain made famous, of course, by Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know the mountain in the jungle in Peru? The one that turns from the Paramount logo into a mountain supposedly in the jungles of South America? No, that's the mountain there in Milford Sound, New Zealand. They wanted something that looked exactly like the Paramount logo, and that was it. Your film knowledge for today. And what we're flying? This is the Milviz Havilland Beaver, one of my favourite planes of all time. And yes, unfortunately not a New Zealand registered aircraft, but we make do. It's a phenomenal representation of the aircraft, probably the best one that's been released to date. I have their turbo otter as well, and well, not a big fan of the turbo otter, but this thing is a beauty, beautifully rendered inside and out. And well, what you guys are interested in more is the flying, so we're gonna get ourselves inside. We are cold and dark at the moment here in the Beaver, and this thing has full systems, everything from throwing my yoke across to the other side. Let's just make it go away for now. We are sat here in the cockpit of the venerable half-ton truck, the Havilland Canada's DHC-2. So we are going to get this thing turned on and started up. We're onto our rear. We want our rear tank. Okay. Now we are going to want to set our mixture to on. Prop will be out. And we're going to go for engine start, so we need to get to our... Yeah, I need VR for this. There's our primer. So we're going to pop on our beacon. We're going to start the battery. Give that wobble pump a few hits to get the fuel pressure up. Over 5 pounds. Couple of squirts on the primer. It's decent weather, so 3 should do us just fine. And we are going to go for fuel pump boost. Start. And it caught first time. Beautiful. So let's get the alternator on. Let's get the engine on. Nav lights on. Let's get ourselves back to our center of our seat, which is always useful. Okay, so we're operational. Let's bring the propeller up. Little bit of gas to keep the engine happy. Let things warm up whilst we get everything set up. We're doing a short little flight today. We're heading across to Martin's Bay, which is a little beach just up the coast here from Milford Sound, so we're going to get some pretty scenery. And we're going to get ourselves ready to rock and roll. Barometric pressure should be good to go. What is our frequency here for Milford Sound? Okay, we're on Milford traffic, so 118.2. Alright, okay, so transponder is set to altitude mode and on. I think we're looking good. So, without further ado, we're going to get this bad boy rolling for us today. Okay, so everything I want to have set is set. Go through my checks. Don't bring the yoke back in just yet. Fuel boost pumps can come off. Don't need the map light, cabin lights, nav and beacon are on. Landing light on for takeoff and departure. Don't need no wing lights, no ice. Avionics are all set. It's a nice little VFR flight today, so we'll pop our flight yoke back in. And we're going to get rolling. Milford Sound traffic, November 1117 Fox is going to be taxiing for departure active, departure to the north. Okay, so there's our little taxiway just ahead of us. The Beaver, being a tail dragger, is surprisingly docile on the ground. It's a very gentle aircraft. And lovely to fly. Taxi's like an absolute dream, I've got to say. Let's take it down. It's a very leafy taxiway here in Milford Sound. New Zealand's very much a pretty place, especially with the Orbex scenery for South Island. One thing I can't see though is the turning point up ahead for me for the run up and approach to the runway. So we'll just have to do our best here. I see it curving off to our left. Okay, there's a tree there. Keep my eyes on the tree. Okay, we're nearly there. Taxi tail draggers is always a bit of an art form. Okay, so our brakes are set. We'll do a 1200 RPM run up. So we want these to be about 20 inches and 1500 there. Yep. Looking for an RPM drop. None. Full power run. No, we're good. Bring that back. Okay, so flaps for takeoff. It's an interesting system in the Beaver. You select the one you want and then you pump it till it goes there. So that's why you see it come down in increments. Milford Sound traffic, November 1117 Fox is entering. It's going to be runway 28 for departure to the north. We're looking good. Okay. Now, an interesting departure here from Milford Sound. We've got a lot of obstruction around us. So let's get ourselves lined up. Okay. Tail wheel Lokaruni. Where the hell are you? No, that's that. That's the parking brake, I'm pretty sure. Don't know where my tail wheel lock is. That's awkward. No, it's fuel cut. Parking brake. No, we don't want that. You know what? It's probably down between the seats somewhere, and I really can't be too bothered with it. So, YOLO. Yeah, Beaver on full power for takeoff is not a wise idea. We're going to run it up with full stick forward here until we get the tail in the air. Tails down, full power, and lift. Nice and simple. Put power down on the climb out. Nice and gentle, just taking her up. Beautiful mountains all around us. Yes, thank you, transponder. Okay, set flaps to climb. And we'll take ourselves up into the beautiful blue skies. As I said, heading for Martins Bay, just up the coast. It's not a long flight today. About 15 minutes or so, but it's going to be a very pretty little adventure once we do. So the Beaver can climb pretty well at even 1,000 feet per minute, so we're doing just that right now as we head up here, and we'll take a rare little external look backwards behind us as we look back towards Milford Sound we just departed from. You can see over there the little tourist boat area and little fishing village, the airport itself, more boats, and the beautiful mountainous scenery all around us. Absolutely gorgeous place up here in New Zealand. Okay, so we're climbing pretty nicely right now at about 84 knots or so. What we need to do. Passing through 1,500 feet right now. We'll settle out about 2,000. We'll drop the rest of our flaps out to cruise. And we'll bring our engine power back down. The Beaver is a very docile aircraft. The float plane is one of the workhorses of Canada. The wheels on this version, I just love it. It's a great bush plane. Tundra tires, wheels, floats, skis, the works. The plane is an absolute joy to fly. Okay, flaps are up. We'll drop our power down. Stop the mixture being quite as rich. And we're in cruise mode. Now, it's a very weird thing to say, but the Beaver is a very docile aircraft in terms of its handling, but at the same time it's very maneuverable. So it's very nimble, but stable. That doesn't make sense, I realise. Think of it like an all-wheel drive car, okay? It's got good handling, but it's also not going to oversteer or understeer. It handles in a very neutral fashion, but at the same time it's maneuverable. So perhaps it's just me thinking it's predictable as an aircraft, but the guy who worked in the flight dynamics for this model is a guy called Bernd Stoll, a guy who I've got the pleasure to have known in the past, and who is a phenomenal flight dynamics expert. He flies 747s and has flown plenty of other planes. Let's take ourselves up a tiny little notch and we'll hit out at 2,000 feet. Just let the aircraft cruise climb up. You'll see we're about at 108, 109 miles an hour there. About 110 as we level off now. A little variance of about 100, 200 feet per minute there. But now we're settled out nicely at about 2,000 feet here, heading out of the valley from Milford Sound towards the north coast of the South Island of New Zealand. And we'll be heading up here, turning further to our north. Look at that coastline. That is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. So like I said, we're just heading up the beach a little bit till we see a nice sandy cove. Not this one that's right here, but a little bit further up. To Martins Bay. Yeah. No, but I think it's not, wouldn't be incorrect to say the Beaver is the Subaru of the sky. It's just works. And that might be a controversial opinion, but it's stable, it's got good handling, it's got an absolutely venerable pedigree. I'm not sure there are many cars I could compare it to. That's probably the wrong one, but it's the one I'm going with for now. Let's take ourselves a little bit further out so I can actually see stuff below me this time. That was my folly last time. I was flying too close to my actual flight track and therefore missed my target. Now we want to come more out to sea. I was about to try and tilt the aircraft to look down, realizing that would actually turn me. So I think that's our destination up here. Like I said, not a long flight today, but it will get the job done. Beautiful beaches here of New Zealand. Yeah, one of my friends from Aspirant is probably watching this one. He's a Kiwi himself. Shout out to Liam C. And I'm sure he will correct me for different things I say incorrectly. I will make sure to pronounce decking as dicking. Thankfully there's no decking around here for me to mispronounce. But I know we had a good giggle at my pronunciation of certain New Zealand words. Yeah, the Beaver's not fast, as you can see here. Or not see there, as apparently the case may be. Nope, you don't want to open anything. Thank you very much. Thank you, Milviz, for apparently not letting me pop those out. That's annoying. Oh, hello, we're actually descending more than I'd like. Let's measure that. See, at Martins Bay is, I'm thinking, that little notch and river output just up ahead. So beyond this small headland area, we should be able to see it. Just a little cruise, enjoying the weather, enjoying the beautiful conditions, somewhere that really doesn't get the attention it should. Milford Sound, especially the Orbex scenery, has so many wonderful little places you can visit and locations to explore. It's an absolute wonderful little hub. There's a bunch of unmarked strips in the Orbex scenery that make for great flying, and I've descended a couple of 100 feet now without noticing it. Let's fix that. Okay, should be just around here. We should be good to go. I keep saying should be, that's probably one of my own detriments because it's definitely something I should know more about. And yeah, last video I should have found that mine strip far faster than I did. One thing that's very interesting to me is that compared to the other regions, Orbex's autogen density in the New Zealand regions is super high. I mean, look at those trees. You can barely see the terrain below it for trees. Yet the performance is actually incredibly good. So that's a weird one. That's our little spot there. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. That's messages, flight plan, nope. Yeah, so this is where we're headed here. You have to frickin' zoom in. Thanks, Milviz. Yep. Martins Bay. NZMJ. Just up from us here. So it's about, let's say, 7 miles away. We're not too far off. Now we're back at our cruising altitude we wanted to use. So yeah, those of you who watch my GTA videos might recognise this livery on the Beaver. Yeah? Look like the Dodo? Familiar? Yeah, I thought so. It's actually the Island Wings livery and one of the kind of standard looking Beaver designs you tend to see on them. So not that unusual at all, actually. Back inside the hairy plane. And get a little bit of turbulence, actually, it seems. I'm still on climb power, so let's drop that baby back. Big old Wasp Junior engine inside this thing, keeping us going. I don't know any of the New Zealand frequencies, so you're going to have to forgive me here. Martins Bay Large. Martins Bay traffic, so... No, we want that one. Don't even know what runways we have here. We're completely winging this one. So, runway 2 and runway 20. Back. No, we don't want center. Go away. We did want Martins Bay Lodge, so we'll leave it on that frequency. 122.9. Really should research New Zealand stuff beforehand, but it's New Zealand. I mean, I'm only going to get a sheep on the other end of the radio, right? You'll be like, November 1117 Fox for Martins Bay Lodge. Approach to landing. All I heard back is, meh, turn runway heading 290. Meh. Ignore me, for God's sake, please ignore me. Okay, so this looks to be our little spot over here. We'll drop our power and start our descent here. Martins Bay Lodge, as I'm aware, is a fairly small strip. That much I can tell you. And it's slap bang in the middle of the bay here. So we're going to fly over, locate it, and make our landing approach. Unless you want us to land on the beach, I mean, I can do that. I've not got tundra tires on this baby, so it might get stuck, but we can do it. Okay. Give us some trim to neutralise our descent at about 500 feet per minute. And we'll see if we can spot the strip. If not, we're landing on the beach and saying screw it. I'll just get a spade. What do we see? That is the real question. We still have grass around, but... And I see some buildings. Just imagine this in my finger down here. So I'm thinking based on my knowledge of the map, in terms of looking at charts before we actually took off for here, there's buildings around the river and then the strip is there somewhere. So we'll have to fly parallel to get a good location on this. I think our only option with the terrain behind it is going to be to land towards the north. So runway 02. Yep, there it is. Martin's Lodge traffic, Beaver, November 1117 Fox, going to be on entering left traffic base for runway 02. YOLO. Okay, let's set the first notch of flaps. Second, third, fourth, fifth, landing. Let's play some Beaver games, shall we? Martin's Lodge traffic, Beaver 17 Fox, turning final 02 for landing. Let's go full flaps. YOLO. Throw some carb heat in there because we are definitely in the icing conditions for the carburetor on this engine. This looks like a steep approach. It is. We're dropping 1,200 feet a minute, but we're decelerating. The reason why is the massive ass flap you can see there. It's basically a wall. I'm deploying walls out of the back of my wings. One of the things the Beaver's great at is short takeoff and landing performance, and we are coming in like a badass. Look at this, just about 70 miles an hour. And as soon as I pull up, we're going to dump speed super fast. So, like this, look at that. Pulling up now, speed is bleeding off. Going to give it some gas to get us across the river. There's the lodge. Sloping runway, no problem for the Beaver. Let's bring it down here. Apparently someone forgot to do this airport properly. Wow, that's edgy. 3-point landing. There we go. Pull the flaps up as quickly as I can. Okay, that was the wrong thing I was hitting. I was hitting my cowl flaps for some reason. And we are down. Let's get this thing turned around and taxi to the lodge. Martins Bay Lodge traffic, Beaver 17 Fox is back taxiing 02 for parking. We'll advise clear. Okay, so we're down here. We'll leave the yoke off for now because it's much easier to see stuff. Ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum bum. There we go. Yeah, I'm always been a fan of using differential braking when I'm taxiing tail draggers. Never know which ones have got different actual tail wheel steering, which ones don't. Okay. Can't see much because Beaver. There's a bunch of people there. Probably our charter. Okay, this'll do. Set parking brake. We're gonna set our fuel to cut off. Okay, and we are good. We're down. Welcome to Martins Bay Lodge. As we're parked up, but that's a tree. God damn it, that's a tree. Yeah, not a bad little job there. And the Milviz Beaver is an absolute joy to fly. Flies exactly the numbers. I've never flown a real beaver, I will have to put that caveat, but it flies the way every beaver pilot has ever described it, as slow but fast, maneuverable but stable. It's the plane that does everything, and it's just as good in the Milviz rendition. In terms of Flightsim performance, it's fantastic. I've had literally no performance loss with it. It looks amazing, it handles great, and it has good in-game performance. So if you're not sure, check it out. But this thing kicks butt. Either way, folks, hope you enjoyed it today. This has been Return to the Wild for today, and whilst not as wild as perhaps normal, I mean, it's kind of normal when we're landing on a sloped runway in a beaver in the middle of New Zealand. Yeah, that counts. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.